Society has an enemy, a silent enemy, one who doesn't brandish weapons or lead revolutions, an enemy whose very existence threatens the established order. This enemy is the solitary man, not the depressed recluse or the resentful outcast, but the individual who has chosen solitude as a position of strength, the man who doesn't need the approval of the herd, who doesn't seek validation from likes, who doesn't base his happiness on the opinions of others. Why is this figure so dangerous? Because he's uncontrollable. You can't blackmail him with social exclusion because he doesn't care about being excluded. You can't manipulate him with trends because he doesn't care about trends. You can't seduce him with promises of popularity because he despises popularity. It's a closed system, a self-sufficient universe. And in a world based on mutual dependence and social control, the self-sufficient man is an anomaly. He's a virus in the system. He's living proof that one can exist and even thrive outside the herd's rules, and for the herd there's no greater threat. This idea finds echoes in two seemingly distant philosophical traditions: Friedrich Nietzsche's Übermanism and Marcus Aurelius's Stoicism. Nietzsche, with his concept of the Übermensch, Superman, celebrated the individual who creates his own values, who transcends herd morality and lives according to his own will to power. For him, solitude was the crucible in which the superior spirit is forged. On the other hand, Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, in his Meditations, preached the construction of an inner citadel, a mental fortress of reason and virtue, immune to the fortunes and misfortunes of the outside world. The Stoic wise man is self-sufficient, autarkis, because his happiness depends only on his virtue, not on external factors. Although they start from different assumptions, both arrive at the same conclusion. The highest state of human existence is a state of radical psychological independence. And this independence is, by its very nature, a threat to the social order based on dependency. In this video, we'll explore the subversive nature of the solitary man. First, we'll analyze with Nietzsche why society needs to create a herd morality to domesticate individuals, and why the superior man must transcend it. Second, we'll learn from Marcus Aurelius how to build our inner citadel, becoming psychologically invulnerable. Finally, we'll understand why this self-sufficiency isn't selfishness, but the prerequisite for the highest form of greatness and, paradoxically, leadership. He who cannot find his greatness in solitude will never find it among others. Friedrich Nietzsche. Nietzsche argued that there are two fundamental types of morality. The first is master morality. It is the morality of the strong, noble, life-affirming individual. For the master, good is everything that is strong, powerful, and that enhances his will to power. Bad is everything that is weak, fearful, and petty. This is the natural morality of the aristocracy, conquerors, and artists. But the majority of people are not strong. They are weak, fearful, and envious, and so to protect themselves from the masters, the majority engages in a transvaluation of all values. It creates slave morality or herd morality. In this morality, everything the master values, strength, pride, ambition, becomes evil. And everything that characterizes the weak, humility, compassion, obedience, kindness, becomes good. Herd morality, according to Nietzsche, is a cunning revenge of the weak against the strong. It's a system designed to domesticate superior spirits, to make them feel guilty about their own strength, to level everyone down toward the safe and comfortable mediocrity of the herd. The solitary man is a threat because he rejects this morality. Instinctively or consciously, he understands it's a trap. He doesn't feel guilty about his ambition, his desire to excel, his need for solitude to think. He operates according to the morality of the masters. He creates his own values. It's his own law. And this is terrifying for the herd, because if everyone did this, the entire social edifice based on obedience and conformity would collapse. The solitary man is a bad example. He's proof that the herd's rules are not absolute, and for this he must be marginalized, labeled arrogant, selfish, weird. If Nietzsche tells us why the solitary man is a threat, Marcus Aurelius teaches us how to become one. His Stoic philosophy is a training manual for building a psychological fortress. The fundamental principle is the dichotomy of control. Some things are in our power, others are not. Our judgments, our impulses, our decisions are in our power. Our bodies, our reputation, the opinions of others, and our wealth are not in our power. Happiness and freedom consist in focusing exclusively on what is in our power and accepting everything else with equanimity. The man who builds his inner citadel becomes invulnerable. If someone insults you, you cannot be hurt because their opinion is not in your power. The only thing that can hurt you is your judgment on that insult, and your judgment is in your power. If you lose your job, you can't be destroyed, because your happiness doesn't depend on your work, but on your virtue and your reason. The Stoic man is psychologically self-sufficient. He needs nothing from the outside world to be serene and whole. This self-sufficiency is the source of his silent power. He doesn't react to provocations. He doesn't complain about misfortune. He doesn't seek approval. He acts calmly, rationally, and according to his principles, regardless of the circumstances. This imperturbable calm is deeply disturbing to reactive and emotional people. They don't know how to manipulate him. They don't know how to control him. His inner peace is a passive weapon that defeats every external attack. It's a threat because it demonstrates that all the drama, all the anger, all the anxiety in which society lives are ultimately a choice he refused to make. The mistake the herd makes is to think that solitary man exists only out of selfishness or misanthropy. This may sometimes be true, but for superior spirits, solitude is not an escape from the world. It is a preparation for serving it, but on one's own terms. Every great idea, every revolutionary work of art, every scientific discovery is born in the solitude of an individual's mind. Deep thought requires silence. Creativity requires space. The creation of new values requires a critical distance from society. The solitary man withdraws from the world, not because he hates it, but because he loves it too much to accept it as it is. He withdraws to forge himself, to become stronger, wiser, more complete, and then he returns. But he does not return as a member of the herd. He returns as a leader, a creator, a legislator. He returns to offer a new vision, to set new standards, to guide. His leadership is not based on a desire to please, but on the strength of his vision and the integrity of his character. People follow him not because he is lovable, but because he is formidable, because they recognize in him a strength and authenticity that they desperately lack in their own lives. In this sense, the solitary man is not the enemy of society. He is its physician. He is the evolutionary force that keeps society from stagnating in mediocrity. He is the threat that forces the herd to question their certainties. He is the constant reminder that a higher, nobler, freer way of life is possible. Society wants you to be dependent. It wants you to be craving approval, fearful of exclusion, hungry for distractions, because a dependent person is a controllable person. The solitary man, in the Nietzschean and Stoic sense, is the antidote to this poison. It is the declaration of psychological independence. It is the decision to find your value within, not without, to build a fortress in your mind that no opinion, no insult, no fashion can undermine. Being this kind of individual is a threat, yes, but it is a threat to the tyranny of mediocrity, to the conformism of the herd, to the forces that want to keep you small and scared. Embracing your solitude, cultivating your inner citadel is not an act of selfishness. It is the most courageous and revolutionary act you can perform. It is choosing to be a sovereign, not a slave, and the world desperately needs more sovereigns. What's the first brick you'll lay to build your inner citadel? What other people's opinions will you choose to ignore, starting today? Write it in the comments. Declare the beginning of your independence. And if you're ready to join the silent rebellion of free spirits, sign up. Because this isn't a flock, it's a pack of wolves.